Becky Lynch then sat down with Charlie Caruso to discuss Survivor Series, and I honestly forgot what the point of this even was, because Becky Lynch has really been involved in nothing notable for about a month now. She had a good match with Kairi Sane last week on the show, but she hasn't really been involved in a feud since the one with Sasha Banks wrapped up at Hell in a Cell. So she was talking, and then the interview gets crashed by the NXT Women's Champion, Shayna Baszler. This was the best thing on the entire show, and that includes a Rollins versus Adam Cole main event, which was good, but this was the best thing on the entire show. Shayna is the most, the article should be up by now by the time you're listening to this on Daily DDT, but I wrote a whole article yesterday that should be up soon if it's not up already, about why Shayna should be the one to beat Becky for that Raw Women's Championship. To me, no one else makes sense. Nia Jax, for when she comes back, she's fucking terrible. It's a feud that makes sense, but it's not a feud that I want to, really see. It makes sense, but I definitely don't want to see Nia Jax be the one to beat Becky Lynch after all this time. Ruby Riott, it won't happen. She's already beaten Charlotte. She's already beaten Natalya. She's already beaten Lacey Evans from SmackDown. Shayna Baszler, I know she's still a part of NXT. She's still the reigning NXT Women's Champion and has been for over a year now. But Shayna should be next in line for a shot at that Raw Women's Championship. Maybe not next in line, but for when she gets called up, probably sooner rather than later. Maybe as soon as January. I think that could be the WrestleMania match. If Ronda Rousey's not back by Mania and they don't do Ronda versus Becky one-on-one, Shayna versus Becky makes the most sense. And we've been saying this for close to 6 months now. I thought Shayna would show up in the post-WrestleMania Raw and attack Becky Lynch, or on the post-WrestleMania, or rather the post-SummerSlam Raw. And we didn't get it then either. Because Shayna's been, ruling the NXT Women's Division for that entire time. She has yet to drop the NXT Women's Championship. And she's a great talent. But I think that she should be the one to beat Becky. No one else in the Raw roster makes as much sense as her. And this interview segment, this interaction here between the two of them, only cemented that. It only solidified that it should be Baszler, Shayna Baszler, being the one to take that title from Becky. They had a great interaction here, and I love the fact that it's not so much about the brand supremacy. And I mean, it is, because at Survivor Series, it will be Shayna Baszler versus Becky Lynch versus Bayley. The champion versus champion from each of the brand's women's divisions, respectively. So it is about brand supremacy. The thing with Becky and Shayna, though, it makes even more sense because while they don't have history with each other, Becky was the one who beat Ronda Rousey and kind of sent her packing from WWE at WrestleMania. Shayna and Ronda, very well documented, very good friends. Shayna looking to avenge that loss from Ronda to Becky Lynch, from Becky Lynch. That loss, Ronda's loss from Becky Lynch or to Becky, whatever the prepositions would be, at Survivor Series by beating her. Now, I think Becky will win, probably by pinning Bayley. I do expect Becky to win that match. Shayna winning would be awesome. I don't see it happening. But again, it would be cool to see Shayna pin Becky and earn herself a future shot at that championship for when she gets called up. Again, I would hope before long, because if Ronda's not back by WrestleMania, they're going to need a big opponent for Becky. And with Sasha being on SmackDown and Bayley being on SmackDown, I think Becky and Baszler is the money match in that Raw Women's Division. So I thought this was great, and I love the fact that they're feuding, not over the fact that they're from separate brands, but the fact that there is a legitimate reason there for Shayna to go after Becky because of what she did to Ronda earlier this year. That's always been the case. People have been saying this for months now, but to see it finally, transpire on TV, I thought was really cool.